Welcome. We are back. We have Dr. Sonia Karpal from Atreya, The Healing Touch, and I'm Rebecca from Reset and Restore. And today we wanted to give you guys a good overview of the dosha types. What is a dosha type in Ayurveda as far as in Western medicine, we might say a body type. So starting off there, Dr. Sonia, maybe you can help give us some insights. We'll talk about Vata first.
Yes, definitely. Whenever you might have heard of any videos according to Ayurveda, or you might have met any doctor, they mostly use these words, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So these are the three basic doshas, the three basic body types that everyone is made of. And these, knowing your body type helps you to decide very much what kind of diet lifestyle you should follow, and what kind of diseases you are prone to, and what kind of things you need to change in your life so that you don't get affected with those diseases, how you can postpone those diseases. So that's why knowing your dosha type is very important.
So explain a little bit more what is behind a dosha type, because in Ayurveda, we look at things by the elements, right? And each element has a quality. So with Vata, it's air and space, Pitta, fire and water, and then Kapha, earth or water and earth, right?
Yeah.
So maybe you can explain a little bit more how those elements, because we all have all of that within our body, but we are more prone to certain qualities or quantities of these elements within our body.
Yes, definitely. And I appreciate you have really good knowledge of Ayurveda. I used to talk to you many times. Yes, in Ayurveda or in ancient Indian texts, it's simply said as Yatha Brahmande Tatha Pinde. Whatever is, all the universe is made up of all these basic five elements. Everything, even the living and non-living, everything is made up of these five elements. That is the earth, fire, water, space, and I would say Akash, Vayu, Agni, Jal, Prithvi. Akash is the space, Vayu is the air, Agni is fire, Jal is water, and Prithvi is the solid part. Okay, so these five elements make each and everything available in the space, available on the earth, humans, animals, in living things, non-living things. Now, how those affect our dosha type? The Vata dosha, if we talk about Vata dosha today, we can go with one by one because that is a very elaborate chapter. Vata dosha is prepared by the combination of two elements, that is the space and the air element. And if you focus, whatever qualities these two elements have are the same qualities of the air principle of the body of Vata dosha. Space is empty, it has nothing. So wherever we have our empty spaces in the body, like ears, nostrils, spaces in the bone marrow, or our large intestine, it has space inside. So wherever the space is there, that is the space element, and that is a space of Vata dosha. And the air, wherever there is a movement, air is mainly used for the movement. So wherever the movement is happening in the body, that is controlled by the Vata dosha. So in the body, everything is getting moved up, like our blood circulation system, blood is moving everywhere. The nervous system is moving, it's conducting messages, our joints are moving. And these three major systems come under the Vata dosha, and our complete digestive tract, whatever we eat, it keeps on moving, digesting, and it gets eliminated. That is again affected by the Vata dosha. So these are the major body functions that gets affected with the Vata dosha. And like the properties of air and the properties of space, like air, when we are in summers, it gets hotter, and when we are in winters, it gets colder. The same way, a Vata dosha personality feels hotter in the summer and feels colder in the winters because the air gets affected by the temperature. So this is the typical symptoms that patients tell us, okay, ma'am, we feel colder in the winters and we feel hotter in the summer. So we get to know the Vata dosha is getting aggravated. So this is the way that we can check what is our body type, and we can plan our diet, lifestyle, and the treatments accordingly.
Right.
Vata dosha, the same way, like the air principle isn't drying in nature. Wherever there is too much of airy, it will dry the things. So the Vata dosha people have this problem of having excessive dryness in the skin. They have rough hair. They have very fast hair fall, and they have indigestion. They have constipation. Most of the time, they have constipation because stool gets hard due to dryness. And these are simple things that a Vata dosha person complains about. Similarly, a Vata dosha patient have a very fast mind. The mind is not stagnant at one place. It's running after one thought, after one thought, and after one thought. So when I always ask patients, what is your mind type? Are you thoughtful? Do you think a lot over a topic? Are you aggressive? Do you feel aggressive behavior very fast? Or are you cool and calm? Whatever happens in the world doesn't matter. So it tells me what is their dosha, Vata, Pitta, or Kapha dosha. So this is the Vata symptoms that a person can check in their body, whether they are having excessive dryness, whether they feel hotter in summer and colder in winter, whether they have a tendency of constipation, whether they have a thoughtful mind. And Vata dosha people will also have joint pains very frequent, and they have really bad time in putting up weight. They are not able to put up weight because Vata dosha is drying. It will digest everything, and they
Putting up,
are very putting up
putting
weight.
up,
They're
oh,
thin
wait,
people.
wait.
Mostly
Yes.
they are thin people. They have long and hard bony structure, Vata dosha personalities. So this is how we explain Vata dosha in a simple language that a person can understand. Otherwise, there are many things that are mentioned in text also.
Yeah. So in that Vata dosha, um, that's kind of you're explaining some of the qualities and the nature of how those things are expressed, how air and space is expressed within the body. And then I think it's maybe important to note also that we are born with some of these natural things, right? So that's in Ayurveda we call our Prakriti, or what is our born nature. So in those some of those features with Vata being, more thin in nature, or more defined features, bony and stuff like that. But then there's also Vikriti, right? So that's when things are out of balance, when air and space is out of balance. So how can one distinguish between what is their nature, their Prakriti, versus what is out of balance, their Vikriti, according to the Vata dosha?
Definitely, for knowing the Prakriti gets decided in the womb. When a lady is pregnant, the Prakriti of the child gets decided at that time, the way a lady eats and behaves and everything. And when the child is born, looking at its characteristics, bony structure or not, and looking at the basic characteristics while the growing age of the child, we can see what is his Prakriti. Okay, like I can tell my younger son, he's very thin and lean, very thin and lean. He eats more than everyone else, but then he's very thin and lean, and he is not able to put up his weight. So he's a Vata Prakriti, and I tell him, and he always tell me, Mama, I'm a Vata Prakriti, so don't tell me about this. I'm a Vata Prakriti, I will not be able to do this. So he gets you. So when a child is born, and when in the initial developing years, if a child is healthy, we can decide the Prakriti of the person, or we ask various questions to the person, like how you are behaving in the younger age, and what are the difficulties that you were having while you were growing up. So these tell us what is the Prakriti. And when we check the symptoms, or when we check the pulse diagnosis that we do for the Vata Pitta Kapha, or the dosha that they tell at the time of they are having ailments, that is the Vikriti. Because these dosha keeps on up and down. Sometimes Vata would be up, sometimes Pitta would be up, sometimes Kapha would be up. And there are rarely people who are having some dosha Prakriti, and I have seen them, and I'm really, really thankful that I think I have just saw two people who were having some dosha. Vat, Pitta, and Kapha all were pulsating at the same level in the same way. So that was really and those people are really healthy. Some of the dosha Prakriti is a healthy person. Otherwise, if any of the dosha is an outgoing way, it will cause some or the other disease, and we have to alter our diet lifestyle to manage that dosha.
Mm-hmm. So that's where you're talking about the balance. Everything is just balance.
Yeah,
In
life should be
synergy with each
balanced.
other.
Life should be balanced. We should not be running about many other things. It should be in.
Right. Which is very rare. It's very rare because there's so much going on, and we're also dealing with our environment, with toxins, with weather. So like we're in different seasons where, like in the winter season here, it's more of a Vata season, right? So there's more air and space and things. And so there's more dryness naturally, right? So even somebody who has those characteristics in Vata, and then they're in the Vata season, then it can aggravate those same conditions within their body, right? Make them more dry and things like that. Yeah.
That's why
So
yeah. That's why you experience patients with osteoarthritis, joint pain gets aggravated pain during the time of the weather change. Whenever there is airy weather, there is windy weather, or whenever there is cold weather, the Vata dosha aggravates. And when there is extreme cold, then Kapha dosha aggravates. It is the stagnant and everything. But during the windy season, Vata dosha aggravate, and the people who are prone to having arthritis, joint pain, stiffness, people who are a Vata dosha Prakriti, and if they are doing anything in their lifestyle that is aggravating Vata dosha, they will start having the symptoms. Like Vata dosha is drying in nature. If a person is doing too much of traveling, it's aggravating that dosha, and too much of traveling aggravates Vata dosha.
yes.
So we tell them to slow down. If a person is on very much low oil diet or low ghee diet, it will always aggravate Vata dosha, because Vata, the air principle, we need to balance it with something oiling, internal and external.
Very important. I think what you said, so we can identify what are the causative factors, what are the qualities and things that happen within air and space. But then now, looking from an Ayurvedic perspective, what can we do? Because we do what is opposite, right? To help balance that thing. So maybe you can talk a little bit more on what are the good recommendations for somebody who with a Vata Prakriti or even Vikriti, right? Like what are some of those things that they can do that are going to help them?
Definitely, to balance our aggravated dosha or our basic prakriti, to balance it so that it doesn't create any disease, we need to balance them with the opposite things. Like if a Vata personality is, a person is having Vata symptoms or Vata personality, they should start applying oil on their body, preferably sesame oil. If they are not able to apply it in all your body, you can only simply apply on the joints, the major joints, your knee joints, your shoulder joints, your cervical area, and your lumbar area. At least apply oil in those joints so that it can pacify Vata. Start adding ghee to your diet, or in windy season, what we advise in India is eat deep fried food.
Eat what?
Deep fried food.
Oh, deep fried food.
Oil. Yeah. So my patients gets really happy when I advise them to eat pakoras and something that is deep fried. So ma'am, it will help us. I said, it will definitely help you. One of my patient was suffering from asthma, and I advised her, ma'am, please take something deep fried. And she was so happy because her husband was not allowing her to eat something deep fried, and that was the need of her. So we need to eat something home cooked, not the market prepared, because you need to choose the oil. Choose the pure oils, choose mustard oil, choose groundnut oil, and not those refined oils, because they are already altered in the natural forms.
Right.
So eat in a weekly manner. If you're a Vata personality, you should eat deep fried food once in a week, and that should be in the breakfast time, preferably, so that it
once
gets
in a week in the
digested.
breakfast time. So we're not saying, oh, we can eat deep fried food, so let's eat every day French fries. No,
not at all. Not at all. And once a week in the first half of the day, so that it gets assimilated. Apply oil, and use mustard oil in cooking. And another thing that people must do is put nasal drops of either sesame oil or cow ghee. So this was also pacifies the Vata in the brain. And this is Nasa Shiriso Dwara. We say that this nostril is the door to your brain. So whatever we put in over here, it will go and nourish the brain. So these are three major things that person can do. Apply oil on the body, pure simple sesame oil. There are many Ayurveda medicated oils also available. Put oil in the nostril. Also put oil in your ears. That's why, because these are the empty spaces, and people are having tinnitus and other problems just because of that we are not able to pacify the vata over here.
Right.
So this is helpful. And eat ghee and eat deep fried food once a week in the breakfast.
So what we're doing is we're trying to nourish the dry areas, the passageways, right, where the spaces are in Vata. Bring them, nourish them so they don't dry out too much. And you had mentioned doing the oil on the body, the abhyanga. It's something I actually do regularly as well, and it really does make a huge difference. But so doing that, one thing, when I do it a lot of times in the morning, apply the oil all over my body, and then take a shower. I think that's easy and more practical for people. So you know, if you're concerned about it being messy or something like that, just put a towel down and just oil your body everywhere, and then you can take a shower. And then when you take a shower, it even I think absorbs into your skin even more, the nourishment of that oil.
Yeah, the best thing that even I do for myself, or I advise people, is when you wake up, and most of the people, if they are doing workout or exercise or anything, apply oil before that. Okay. Because when you apply oil and go to your exercise and workout, the body temperature, or the bhrajak pith, you know that it will increase, it will digest that oil, it will absorb the oil, and after that you can take the bath. So at least for 1 hour the oil would be applied on your body.
Yes.
So that we can. And if someone is having too much of pain or joint pain, then they need to apply oil at least 2 to 3 times a day, and they should use the Ayurveda medicated oils according to their.
And then use it on that specific joint as well. More. So. Yeah. Very good. All right.
One more thing that is very popular these days is oil pulling. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I do oil pulling too. Yeah.
Yeah. So in Ayurveda, it is mentioned in the name of kaval dharan and gandus dharan. Kaval dharan is a way when we just take some oil after brushing. We should do it daily. Take some either coconut oil or sesame oil, or we have our medicated oils. Take warm oil in your mouth and you just swash it in mouth. So that is kaval dharan. Then you throw it up and you can do the gargles after that. After a few days, you will not feel of doing gargles. Gandus dharan is filling your mouth completely so that you are not able to move that oil. That is more intense and more helpful. And this also pacifies the Vata dosha. This was really helpful during COVID and allergies, because if you are doing nasyam, you are nourishing this area, and virus and bacteria will not be able to enter. You are nourishing your oral cavity. So that has helped. It also helped in facial palsy, Bell's palsy, facial paralysis. It also helps in nourishing your brain, your eyes, and your every body part above this area. We say it Urdhva Jatruvat, above this area, that goes nourished. So that is also very much helpful.
And it's very important because your digestion starts in your mouth too, right? So with the oil pulling, we also get the bad bacteria out, and help a healthy mouth, to help with the start of the digestion, right? So maybe we can also discuss what are the best foods for Vata to eat.
Yes, Vata personalities should avoid everything that is dry. Okay, and they should always take
chips, popcorn.
Yeah, popcorns are really drying. So Kapha personality should take popcorns. Pitta personality should take popcorns, but Vata personality should not take popcorns on a regular basis. So whatever is drying and hard to chew, they aggravate Vata dosha. Okay. And whatever is oily, soft, it pacifies Vata dosha. So just understand this definition. We can see whatever food is available in our country, and we can plan accordingly our platter.
I think that's a good way to look at it, is when we can understand the qualities, then we can best know as far as according to different areas in our environment, what are the best things for us to eat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But don't eat anything packed food. See, the packed food is harming so much to everyone,
Yeah.
even to the Mother Earth and to us and everyone. So
Yeah.
it
So
has
talking
all
about
the preservatives. Yeah.
yeah, the quality of the food, like, so avoiding preservative foods, avoiding things that are genetically modified, trying to take those things that are organic and that are fresh and less packaged and processed, right? The better for us. Some stuff that
Yeah.
is from nature is better for us than stuff that is overly processed.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because whatever I have heard, I think weather in America is supportive of doing small, uh, growing small herbs at your home.
Yeah.
I think you have pretty much of good sun over there. Similarly in India. So what people can do is they can grow small herbs at their home if that's possible. Like coriander, like this mint leaves, and anything that they are able to grow at their place. So that is the most best thing that you can procure for yourself. The next step should be any farmer that is nearby or any market that give you the fresh yield. Take that and cook it at your home. See, cooking is not that much difficult. It doesn't involve too much of time. If we learn how to manage our time, cooking, it does take only 1 hour.
Yeah.
1 hour a day, you can cook all the 3 meals at a time. If you are in very hurried state, then also in 1 hour, you can cook all the 3 meals. And that is very much needed to cook your food at home so that you know what you are adding. And you will have your emotions in that. You will be able to control what you are adding in that. And that will be having much more nutrients
Yes.
to be assimilated in your body.
And you mentioned something, emotions, which I think is so important that people don't even think about. But what goes on when you cook, and the cook, are they happy? And when they're cooking, right, and bringing that into, and even when you eat, accepting the food with happiness, because if you're emotional and you're eating too, it's not good, and the body won't digest as well. Also, right?
Yeah, if you have bad emotion, if you are sad, if you are in stress, anxiety, please avoid eating food at that time. That will not be get digested. Sit for a while, calm your mind, see something that is that can make you happy, and have your meal.
Yes.
And pay gratitude to what is in front of you, and to the persons who have done hard work in preparing that food, to the person who have done hard work to grow that food in the fields. So just pay gratitude to them that they have done that much hard work, and that's why you're getting that food in your front of you. So
and
that
when
will
we
help you.
Yeah, very much. And when we eat like fast food, and we don't always know who's cooking or what is the quality of the food, right? So it's not really good for our digestion. So understanding where our food comes from is important. Supporting local farms and local food, like you had mentioned, I think is very good. Yeah. Dr. Sonia, I know it's getting late there, and I think you're tired. We appreciate your time, and maybe we can just wrap up as far as the Vata Dosha. Any last points you want to give? And then on a next episode, we can go on and talk about the Pitta Dosha.
Yes, definitely. I understand that everything will not be able to be changed so frequently. So start with the minimum things, whatever is possible for you. Start with the minimum things. And if you have any queries, if anyone is having any queries that how they can change in their lifestyle, we can take those queries also, and we can tell them some practical solutions, whatever they can do. So yes, start with only one point. Whatever is possible for a person to do, start with that, and gradually you will be able to do all other things.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Sonia. And for all of our listeners out there, please do comment if you have any questions, and we'll be looking at those and creating new episodes to help answer those questions as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It is always strongly recommended that you consult with a personal healthcare provider
prior to applying any of the education provided herein. The educational and informational content provided by Reset and Restore and Atreya is in no way, shape, or form to take the place of personalized care provided by a personal healthcare provider. Please use the information we provide in conjunction with such professional advice. The content we provide is purely educational in nature about Ayurveda and various wellness topics and is not meant to diagnose, treat, or prevent any disease. We make no claims or warranties to cure, treat, or prevent any disease or condition.